As Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis gear up for their November 14th clash, leaked sparring footage between the two has surfaced from a boxing YouTube channel, and it's been lighting up the boxing world with controversy.
I didn't even notice it at first, honestly. I want to see the replay. Like, I don't even know if I moved at all. But it was pretty fast. I didn't see it coming, so we'll...
While most fans had no clue this happened, Jake Paul and Davis secretly shared a closed-door sparring session during Jake's 14-month layoff, right before his fight with Frank Martin. This came after Tank had mocked Jake's boxing skills, claiming his own punching power was on par.
There you go. Take deep breath when you want. Take deep breath. Right. Take deep breath.
With a super middleweight, just as Davis predicted, that sparring session unfolded exactly how he imagined. Even though Jake tried using his size, height, and reach to dominate, Tank's superior footwork completely neutralized him.
Makes you think that you can be the fighter to stop him, and if you can stop him, do you think you can stop him?
Yeah, for sure. I think I can stop him. I'm much quicker than him. He's much stronger, much bigger, but we all know that tall fighters is a taller fighter. A shorter person is hard to fight a taller person. So, I mean, while a taller person is hard to fight a shorter person.
We made it smaller gloves just now today, so someone's getting put to sleep.
How's your mental?
I'm doing great, man. I'm just so happy to be here. I love all of this. Excited to get back to camp and just knock this guy out and prove people wrong once again.
Throughout the session, Jake Paul, lacking the technical sharpness of a top boxer, could only rely on searching for that one knockout shot. He attempted to catch Davis off guard, hoping to land a devastating punch, but Tank's tight high guard blocked nearly everything. Then, as expected, Tank switched roles. And became the counterpuncher. Had that session been officially scored, there's no doubt Davis would have won it on points. Fans watching the leaked clip couldn't believe what they saw. Damn, this is exactly how the real fight will go. Boxing's about skill.
Paul versus Gervonta Davis.
Oh, I don't care. I don't think anyone cares, man. No one cares. No.
Not size. No way a YouTuber beats a boxer like Tank. One fan commented. Another added, I don't get how anyone thinks this matchup makes sense. It's like a young Tyson versus Jake. Entertaining maybe, but not competitive. To ensure the upcoming fight doesn't mirror that sparring session, Davis has now brought in heavyweight sparring partners to prepare for the 6 feet 2 inches cruiserweight Paul. Still, Jake doesn't appear too phased.
We know he's gonna be definitely frustrated. You know, he's slower. You know, his arm reach not that much long. We just gotta wait and see until we get in there and test the waters. But I'm for sure though that he decent and he gonna hold up for a couple rounds. But once it get hot in there, you know.
Recently, Davis posted a photo on Instagram showing him training with a much bigger partner. The picture quickly made the rounds online until it reached Jake's feed. Paul, of course, responded in his usual cheeky fashion, writing on his Instagram story alongside the repost. Tank sparring a guy with
Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. They just announced the fight. What's your instant reaction to that?
I don't know what's going to happen with a 135-pounder going up against a 200-pounder. I think it's not a real fight. Jake just too big. Tank ain't gonna be able to get in from that jab. Jake land one good punch on Tank.
Buddy, bring in a real athlete. Even Terrence Crawford was stunned when the news broke, mostly because of the huge size difference. On the Full Send podcast, Crawford said bluntly, Jake's too big for Tank. Way too big. Though Crawford has never been the biggest Davis fan, He didn't dismiss Tank's talent, saying, "Tank's got speed, power, and explosiveness, but Jake's size advantage is a serious problem." Davis's recent form hasn't helped either.
Man, what do you think about it?
Bruh.
Yeah. Lay it on me, Rolly. What do you think, bro? Come on.
I don't even know what to think right now. I don't even know what to think. Maybe some, Tank has an unreal boxing ability, and Jake Paul is really big. But the last time I said somebody was going to be bigger, they weren't that much bigger. But I think in this case, somebody's actually a lot bigger, so.
Did you see the face-off? Like, he's laying a lot bigger.
The 30-year-old was forced to settle for a majority draw against Lamont Roach-Back on March 1st at Brooklyn's Barclays Center. Everyone expected a rematch, but instead, Tank suddenly signed up to fight Jake Paul. Meanwhile, the ex-YouTuber turned fringe cruiserweight contender continues facing criticism for his opponent choices. Even Crawford admitted he doesn't see much point in the matchup, but said he'll still tune in. "If this isn't another overhyped sparring session, and they actually go for it, I think Jake wins, brutally," he said. "If Jake lands one..."
I gotta ask you, Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. Does Davis have a chance?
Gervonta is a great boxer, but he ain't gonna be.
So you got Jake Paul by knockout, or?
No, I don't got anybody, but I don't think,
He's just too small?
It's just...
Clean punch on Tank. It's over. The dude can punch. He's not slow like people think. Shakur Stevenson, the 28-year-old WBC lightweight champ, also weighed in during an interview on TMZ Sports, minutes after the fight was confirmed. He made it clear, "No, Jake's not beating Tank. No chance." Stevenson continued, "Sure, size will play a part, but if I'm Tank, I just outbox him, use my IQ, make him look silly."
He's going to come in there 100% and he's going to be on top of his game. He's going to be sharp, fast, strong. I think that's the thing that's going to surprise a lot of people with this fight is Bud power carries up. It's not just power that was just there for 147 or 140. His power carries up in weight. So I think that's the biggest thing that's going to surprise everybody.
Shakur, have you noticed that he's a step slower and any downside to adding on a little bit of size with Bud?
I mean, I can't get into his...
Davis, known for his monstrous knockout power with 28 KOs in 31 fights, is expected by some to put Jake to sleep. But Shakur disagreed. "I think Tank wins by decision. Jake's too big to just get knocked out like that." When pressed again, Stevenson laughed and said, "Nah, I don't see Tank knocking Jake out." Though he called the matchup one-sided, he still gave Jake some credit. "Jake's good for where he's at, but there are levels to this."
Gio's World, facts. That's why Tank wants to fight Jake Paul. I'm telling you, he want to fight Jake Paul because he know if he climb in the ring with Shakur Stevenson, he's going to get zapated. He know it. They all know it.
Yet, Shakur also admitted he won't be watching the fight. "Hell no," he told TMZ. "It doesn't excite me at all. I'm a competitor. I want to see real fights, not spectacles." Interestingly, Stevenson wasn't shocked by the announcement. When Tank fought Lamont, Jake was there. He told y'all he'd fight someone like Jake Paul, so I'm not surprised. But behind his calm response, frustration was clear. Shockers wanted to fight Tank for years. Both hold titles in the same division, yet
Won the 9-point-something his last fight against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He hasn't been only boxing for a couple of years. He's 12-1. Tank Davis obviously been boxing his whole life. He's 30-0-1. He's knocked everybody out except for 3 opponents in his life. But at what point does size matter so much, though, where it can't be overcome, Shakur? And is it in this case here when you've got what is like a 70-pound difference between these two guys?
I mean, size will play some part of the fight, but...
negotiations have always stalled. For him, Tank choosing a YouTuber over him feels like an insult to the sport. "Tank's disrespecting boxing if he picks Jake over me," Stevenson told FightHub TV. "I've said for years I'm the best in the sport. If he disagrees, Prove it in the ring. Behind the scenes, Jake Paul claims the deal is being finalized. We're working on it, he said. It's gonna be the biggest show of the year. But that very statement infuriated Shakur even more, as he sees Tank chasing fame over legacy, their promoters being on rival platforms.
What about the rumors of Tank and Jake fight?
Man, Tank disrespectful to the sport if he choose that over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter in the sport. I've been telling him that. And he called cap on it. So if he gonna call cap and say I'm not who I say I am, come prove it. I think it's dangerous for him to go back in there and fight Lamont. I think Lamont is a hell of a fighter. I can see that going left. So
top rank for Stevenson and premier boxing champions for Davis hasn't helped either. Those political barriers have killed many big fights before. As for Shakur, he's still eyeing Teofimo Lopez or Lamont Roach next, both more legitimate matchups. Meanwhile, before his bout with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Jake had already teased that his team was working on a fight with Tank. At the time, he said, "It'll probably be an exhibition." Now it's official. A cruiserweight versus lightweight fight sounds insane, but hey, boxing loves a spectacle.
Boxing them and making it real easy.
Is there any way you could, any realistic or legitimate way in your mind you could see Jake Paul winning a fight against Tank?
No.
No way.
Nope.
Not a lot of people have talked about Jake and say he's got good power. Not even, and I get anything could technically happen, but you don't even see a realistic shot where he could land one big punch, and Tank being so much smaller, he just can't handle the power.
Nah, not at all.
Even Claressa Shields admitted she was shocked yet curious enough to watch. Seeing Tank versus Jake Paul instead of Lamont Roach was wild. She wrote on X, "But I'll still watch." Shields predicted Davis wins, purely because of experience and ring IQ, not necessarily mindset. Still, Tank has only fought once at 140 pounds in his 12-year career, and now he's facing someone who fights at 200. Jake clarified on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani that the fight would be an exhibition. 10 3-minute rounds, no restrictions. Not professional. According to Tim Bradley, that says it all.
It's the biggest fight in the world.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be the biggest boxing fight in the world when it happens. I can see it happening not too far in the future.
Really?
I can see it happening. I don't think, like, I think Tank will sign that contract.
Dang.
And I'm going to sign a contract too, so it's like,
Tank's done, he told the Ring. He's just cashing in now. Mentally, he's out. He wants the money, not the competition. Bradley, a Hall of Famer and longtime Tank admirer, admitted Davis hasn't looked sharp lately. His draw with Roach proved it, and even though they were expected to rematch in August, it's still not confirmed. Bradley believes Tank's heart isn't in boxing anymore. He's checked out. He's looking for one last bag, a Jake Paul payday, and then he's gone. Former world champion Andre Berto echoed that sentiment.
I think Tank is going through things that we don't know that he's going through mentally, so that's why I kind of like don't want to. I think that whenever I say something about him, it go viral and then they make it a way for us to beef or whatever.
Pile on.
Yeah, and it's more of like I ain't got to be friends with him, but I don't hate the dude, and I wish him well. I think that if he get his mental.
It's definitely the one I want next, but it's not gonna be next.
What is?
You might see it in a minute. Definitely might see it in a minute.
Ultimately, it's about like being in the ring with him, right? That's the main thing. He want to be able to say, "Look what I done in the last 4 years, 5 years, or 5 years in boxing. I got to the top. I fought the best fighter in the world, pound for pound. You know, Canelo Alvarez or Anthony Joshua. You know, heavyweight champ. That's just it. That's all he wants. He looking for clout, man. That's it. Clout at the end of the day. He know he can't beat none of those dudes.
But if he stepped in the ring with an Anthony Joshua, all jokes aside, would you, from the outside looking in, a former fighter, you know how dangerous this is?
It's gonna be interesting to see, man. So
Do you see the same when Gervonta rematches Lamont Roach?
Could be. Yeah, because the styles make fights, man. And obviously, Lamont Roach, man, look, anybody that can take a shot and that's tough, bro, and that can take it to Tank, they can beat him. All right? Bro, he mentally tough, had his game plan, was able to execute, was able to march forward in spots. He was able to control a lot of the action, you know.
Saying this fight screams money grab. Jake Paul versus Tank Davis? Sounds crazy, but doing it in Atlanta's a smart move. That city turns up for everything. It'll sell out, no doubt, he said. Sure, hardcore boxing fans will hate it.
Paul and Gervonta Davis. Wow. Wow, that sounds crazy. That sounds real crazy. But doing it in Atlanta was a very smart strategic move. Because one thing about Atlanta, I lived in Atlanta for a good 4 to 5 years. And I know one thing when it comes to us, anything that's popping in the city, they coming out. They come.
But right now, boxing's all about entertainment. Regardless of what critics say, both Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis are promising to give fans a spectacle when they finally face off next month. And that's all for now.
City is coming out. So the city will be coming out. It's going to be packed. A packed house in Atlanta to come out. And of course, support Gervonta. Because like I say, Jake ain't never in his life going to see a stadium so filled with black people in his life. You know what I mean? They coming out. It's going to be crazy, right? I see a lot of people in the comments, of course.
For more of the latest boxing updates, fights, and breaking moments, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss a drop. Until next time, peace.